Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
There's a business model out there that almost everyone hates, and that is when you see something on the internet and they go, you can buy this for really, really cheap, $1.49 a month. And then you look at it and you realize a bunch of fine print and it goes, well, after 6 months, it will auto-renew and it'll become $19.95 a month. Or after 30 days, it'll jump, blah, 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 blah. But you can cancel any time. But everyone knows, I don't need to tell you this, but this is what we're getting at, is when they say that you can join for $1.49 and it will auto-renew and jump, and you can cancel, that the cancellation is going to be exponentially harder than the joining was. And this goes way back, and many people remember America Online. It's one of the reasons I laugh whenever I see someone with an AOL email address. And I know that there's people in my audience who still have those. Nothing wrong with that, but it just reminds me of America Online, because at one point in time, everyone who was on the internet seemingly had America Online. We all had AOL email addresses at one time, and we all had the thing where you've got mail and all that stuff. We all went through that if you're of a certain age. And then AOL fell out of favor and went away. But when you went to cancel AOL, they actually trained their people to not let you cancel. So you call up and go, hi, I want to cancel my contract. And they go, okay, why? And I don't care. I want to cancel it. And they go, well, here's the deal. What are you paying? If you tell them, they go, okay, we'll give you a discount. You go, no, I want to cancel. Why? We'll give you a discount. Are you going someplace else? We can match their prices. I've already signed up with somebody else. Okay, well, cancel with them and come back to us. We'll beat their price. I want to, you could say that over and over again. And they're famous. I believe they made documentaries about this. But I remember seeing stories about this where people would call and go, I want to cancel. And the guy would say something back to him. I want to cancel. And at one point in time, they actually trained them to say, can you put someone else on the phone? So they actually say, can I speak to your spouse? Can I speak to one guy? I remember this vividly. They go, can we speak to your mother? Guy goes, I'm 45 years old. Is your mother home? I don't live with my mother. I mean, crazy stuff. And they would not let you cancel. You had to sit there and scream at them, I want to cancel. And I remember, people tell me, they go, I'm going to sue you if I can't cancel. And then they cancel them. So again, it's really easy to sign up, difficult to cancel. Federal Trade Commission has recently ruled on this. Paul and Bernie both pointed it out to me with a statement from the FTC at the website, ftc.gov. Federal Trade Commission to ramp up enforcement against illegal dark patterns that trick or trap consumers into subscriptions. So again, you sign up, it's cheap. They say you can quit anytime, but it's extremely difficult to quit. So the agency policy statements puts companies on notice that signups must be clear, consensual, and easy to cancel. Easy to cancel. The FTC issued the new enforcement policy recently, warning companies against deploying illegal dark patterns, what they call it, that trick or trap consumers into subscription services. The agency is ramping up its enforcement in response to a rising number of complaints about the financial harms caused by deceptive sign-up practices, including unauthorized charges or ongoing billing that is impossible to cancel. And a lot of these places, they get your credit card information, they sit there and they charge you month after month. And I've heard from people who called and couldn't get the company to cancel, so they got to call their credit card company or whoever and say, I need to block these charges. I've called them to cancel. They won't let me cancel. The FTC's policy statement puts companies on notice they will face legal action if their sign-up process fails to provide clear, upfront information, obtain consumers' informed consent, and, here's the kicker, make cancellation easy. The cancellation is always the hard part. Tom Petty wrote a song about that. Today's enforcement policy statement makes clear that tricking consumers into signing up for subscription programs or trapping them when they try to cancel is against the law. That's the director of the FTC's Bureau of Consumer Protection speaking. Firms that deploy dark patterns and other dirty tricks should take notice. This policy statement builds on the many enforcement actions taken by the FTC and other law enforcement agencies against illegal subscription tricks and traps, sometimes used by unscrupulous sellers, in automatic renewal subscriptions, continuity plans, free-to-pay or free-to-pay conversions, and pre-notification plans. And so, here's the thing. Everyone knows this has been going on for years. And some companies are going to look at this and go, well, we've been doing it for years, we'll just keep doing it. The interesting thing, though, is if they're doing it to one person, they're probably doing it to all their customers. So it's going to be hard for them to ever say, oh, it's an isolated incident. When somebody complains and goes, hey, they're still doing it, the FTC can go over, look at the website and go, hey, they are still doing it. So this will be fun to watch. The FTC has also brought cases challenging a variety of illegal subscription practices. It has sued companies that hid important payment information, or even the fact that consumers would be charged at all behind hyperlinks, hover-overs, or in inconspicuous places or buried on pages behind the initial offer page. It has sued companies that made consumers wait on hold or listen to lengthy ads before they could cancel. It has sued companies that converted free trials to paid subscriptions before the free trial ended. And recently, the FTC sued a company that failed to disclose that widely advertised material benefits of the subscription were no longer available. So, anytime you see an ad, there's a big block of text and minute print at the bottom. You almost always have to assume that everything that you wouldn't want to exist is going to be in that block, right? And if you're ever bored and you're watching TV, pause the TV when a screen comes up with a ton of text at the bottom and read it. It's hilarious. Or next time you're reading a magazine, if you're ever reading a magazine again, and you see an ad and there's a big block of text, pull out some readers and a magnifying glass and read it. And you'll be amazed what's in there. Pretty much they disavow everything that's in the ad above it. So, under the enforcement policy issued recently, businesses must follow 3 key requirements or be subject to law enforcement action, including potential civil penalties. Now, these are the 3 actions they must take. They must disclose clearly and conspicuously all material terms of the product or service, including how much it costs, deadlines by which the consumer must act to stop the further charges, the amount and frequency of the charges, how to cancel, and information about the product or service itself that is needed to stop consumers from being deceived about the characteristics of the product, and so on. Number 2, they must obtain the consumer's express informed consent before charging them for a product or services, which includes obtaining a consumer's acceptance of the negative option feature separately from other portions of the entire transaction, not including information that interferes with, detracts from, contradicts, or otherwise undermines the consumer's ability to provide their express informed consent. Number 3, and this is the biggie, provide easy and simple cancellation to the consumer. Marketers should provide cancellation mechanisms that are at least as easy to use as the method the consumer used to buy the product or service in the first place. And I can think of many examples of things that I signed up for, things that I bought, and I go online and I want to cancel them. And you start digging around and you cannot find that page. It's nowhere to be found. Then you call them and go, where's the page? I'm on your website. Oh, it's not there. You got to call us. Why doesn't it say that on your website? Well, you're talking to us now. Who cares? Well, the Federal Trade Commission cared, and I appreciate that. The commission vote approving this new policy was 3-1, with a commissioner voting no and issuing a dissenting statement. He apparently thought that we didn't need to do this. So I'm not sure whose hip pocket he's in, but we won't worry about it because his vote was outnumbered by the votes that prevailed. But this is an important thing for consumers, especially with the internet. There are a lot of services out there, I've used a few myself, that you sign up for them and it says you can use it for this length of time, after which it jumps and becomes this. You can even calendar it. Say, I'll remember to go over here and close it. You go over there at that date and time and you can't find how to cancel the subscription. So now they have to make cancellation as easy, if not easier, than it was to sign up. It'll take some time for this to be implemented, I'm sure. But we should see changes coming, because the good news is that if you are a company and you do bad things and you get on the radar of the Federal Trade Commission, they'll come after you, and that legal action will cost you. So huge companies, the biggest of the companies, the ones that are headquartered in the rainforest, run by a billionaire from Seattle, those kind of companies can't afford to litigate with the FTC. But smaller companies, don't want to do that. So I suspect you'll see changes in the near future. Paul and Bernie, thanks for sending it. FTC to ramp up enforcement against illegal dark patterns that trick or trap consumers into subscriptions. And I got the information straight from the Federal Trade Commission's own website, ftc.gov. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. How many computer programmers does it take to change a light bulb? None. That's a hardware problem.